Picture this. It's 2028. A small modular reactor just outside Pittsburgh just went critical. Not the good kind. The AI chatbot that helped draft its safety documentation hallucinated a crucial valve specification. The engineering team, drowning in licensing paperwork, missed it. They trusted the AI. Now 300,000 people are evacuating. Sound far-fetched? It's not. It's already in motion. Today we're talking about the collision between AI's hunger for power and the nuclear industry's century of hard-won safety lessons. Because right now, in the name of an AI arms race that might not even exist, we're dismantling the safeguards that kept another Chernobyl from happening. This is the story of how algorithms convinced us to gamble with atoms. Here's the number that started everything: 160%. That's how much data center power demand is spiking by 2030 thanks to generative AI. We're talking 5 to 50 gigawatts of additional power. A single large nuclear reactor? 1 gigawatt. So OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they all did the math. Solar and wind can't scale fast enough. Fossil fuels are politically toxic. That leaves nuclear. Google cut a deal with Kairos Power. Microsoft signed to restart 3 Mile Island. Yes, that 3 Mile Island. Amazon inked with X Energy. Sam Altman's Oklo got access to the US government's weapons-grade plutonium stockpile. But there's a problem. Nuclear plants take 10 to 20 years to build. AI data centers need power yesterday. So what do you do when physics won't cooperate with your quarterly earnings? You change the rules. May 23, 2025. The White House issues an executive order, ordering the reform of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It does 3 terrifying things. First, the NRC must decide on new reactor applications within 18 months. For context, licensing a novel reactor design typically takes years of safety review. Now, arbitrary deadline. Second, it calls for reconsidering the linear no-threshold model and a LARA standard, the bedrock principles of radiation protection, established after decades of studying Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and Cold War fallout. The order calls them unscientific, except there's international consensus from UNSCEAR, the IAEA, and radiation protection experts that LNT is the most appropriate model we have. The critics cherry-pick data suggesting maybe low-dose radiation isn't as harmful, but maybe isn't a safety standard. It's a gamble. Third, the order directs the NRC to consult the Department of Defense and Department of Energy on radiation limits, 2 agencies incentivized to speed AI adoption, not protect civilian safety. And one more thing. A February 2025 executive order stripped the NRC of its independence, placing it under White House oversight. The nuclear regulator now answers to politicians, not science. But here's where it gets dystopian. Microsoft proposed using OpenAI's models to draft nuclear permitting documents more quickly. Lloyd's Register partnered with Microsoft for AI-powered maritime nuclear licensing. Westinghouse built a model called Bertha-TM for AI licensing support. Atomic Canyon claims AI will streamline licensing for new nuclear plants. Here's the problem. Nuclear licensing isn't about cranking out paperwork faster. The point is forcing reactor builders to understand the risks, reason through failure modes, explore design trade-offs, and communicate why the plant is safe. You can't outsource that to a large language model. Why? 3 reasons. Accuracy. In OpenAI's own study, GPT-4o and Claude scored under 50% on factual queries. Hallucination rates are increasing. OpenAI admitted hallucinations are mathematically inevitable in LLMs. They're not bugs. They're features of how neural networks work. Nuclear precision. These systems require 95 to 99% reliability. A subtle error in a valve spec, a misinterpreted regulation, an omitted safety analysis, any could cascade into catastrophic failure. Imagine an LLM generating a safety case that sounds compliant but misapplies a dose limit by a factor of 10. The reviewer, drowning in AI-generated text, skims it. Looks good. Approved. That's automation bias. Humans over-trusting machine outputs. In nuclear, that kills people. Security. Commercial LLMs are vulnerable to adversarial attacks, jailbreaks, data poisoning, and model extraction. Now imagine giving them access to reactor specifications, fuel cycle data, enrichment pathways. You just handed nuclear secrets to a system with no security guarantees and no accountability, and that creates proliferation risk. Then there's the small modular reactor hype. SMRs are sold as nuclear's silver bullet, smaller, safer, faster to build. Tech companies are betting billions. Reality check: 62 SMR designs in development, 4 actually operating. After decades, SMRs are experimental technology. We don't know if they'll achieve cost efficiencies. Some studies show they'll produce more nuclear waste per unit of energy. The safety argument? SMRs are modular, meaning multiple reactors per site. One common cause failure cascades across modules, just like Fukushima, where multiple units failed simultaneously. And to make SMRs economically viable, some vendors propose eliminating reinforced concrete containment, motor-driven emergency pumps, rigorous quality assurance. The NRC's review of NuScale found its passive cooling could deplete boron, needed to keep the reactor safely shut down after an accident. Claims that SMRs will be operational by 2028 require either miraculous breakthroughs, which haven't happened, or dangerous timeline acceleration. Guess which one we're getting. Here's the bottom line. We're dismantling nuclear safety regulations written after 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima, because Silicon Valley needs to train bigger language models. We're trusting AI prone to hallucination with licensing documentation where the smallest error could kill thousands. We're fast-tracking experimental reactors on fantasy timelines by startups with zero operational experience. All justified by an AI arms race that serious researchers question even exists. The nuclear industry's safety record isn't luck. It's rigorous regulation, painful lessons, and uncompromising commitment to safety culture. Every shortcut we take moves us closer to a disaster that will kill nuclear energy for a generation. Because in software, you can push a patch. In nuclear, you evacuate a city. I'm Bobby, and this is Security of AI. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.